Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is 4th of July. Happy 4th of July to everybody out there. Hopefully everybody's going to be safe with the fireworks out here and we're not going to kick off any more fires because we already got enough fire activity here going on across some of the state here. And we're going to look at those details here as we go. We're going to take a look at the heat and some of the temperatures for today as well. If I put this into motion starting yesterday morning here, what I pointed out yesterday is you can kind of see these grays emerge across a lot of the landmass here at Southwest USA. That is the sun heating up the earth and the infrared satellite imagery picking up that heat. Then you can see as we go into the evening hours, the sun sets and you can see that heat retreat, except for the very most extreme portions of some of the hottest places out here across the Southwest, including Death Valley. You can really see that heat doesn't wane too much in the overnight hours. And then we start into this morning and you can see that cycle repeat there. You can also see the colder cloud tops across the Pacific Ocean, some of that monsoon moisture down across Mexico there as well. So taking a look at the very hot temperatures as we go through this week, you can see Weaverville 116 by Saturday. Very impressive temperatures out there. You got to go really right along the immediate coast to escape the worst of the heat. This is looking at Thursday's forecast. This is for today. Redding and Red Bluff there 110 plus. You can see Sacramento 109 today. And again, not too bad across some of the Bay Area and the immediate coastal areas, Fort Bragg, Shelter Cove, Eureka, for example. But you don't have to go that far. Look at Ukiah 111 here. And you can see Santa Rosa at 98 degrees. Reno 99 checking in today as well, and it's going to increase a little bit as we go through the next couple days also, and this heat is going to remain with us here on in through next week. Again, a prolonged heat wave event is upon us, and the excessive heat warning goes all the way out through July 11th here. The Hanford National Weather Service, this is part of the areas they cover, and you can see it does include Bakersfield, Tehachapi, California City. There's Fresno and Merced there as well. Now, just a heads up for this is also, because we have Los Angeles National Weather Service talking about the long period south swell surf, 3 to 6 plus feet, strong rip currents, long shore currents, powerful surf, and shore break here. So, you know, if you're headed out to the coastal areas here, the high beach attendants, be careful, especially places where they don't have lifeguards here. It could be those rip currents and dangerous conditions out there. This was issued yesterday afternoon by the National Weather Service Los Angeles. Here's San Diego. Check it out. You can see San Diego 76 here for today. And again, not too bad along the immediate coast, but once you get inland here, you can see Ontario and Riverside at 98 here. You can see Mount Laguna at 89. But once you get into Palm Springs and Thermal, I mean, you're talking about 117, 114. We look at Friday, Palm Springs checking in at 120. Look at Saturday, 123 for Palm Springs. Kind of ridiculous there. El Centro at 118. And then high Sunday backing down just a hair there as well, but still San Bernardino checking in at 102. And if you want a nice affordable home weather station, the thing I like about this is that you can just look at your smartphone and it has a little widget there. It tells you the temperature. So if you're going out for your walk your dog in the morning, or you're starting your day and you're headed off to work, you want to know the temperature. It's just easy to really just kind of glance at that. And the smartphone app is great. And if you want to buy this station here, click on that link down below. Exceptional weather station for the price. Highly recommend it. And it stores all your data for you in the cloud. It builds its own forecast for your individual location. It's got a lightning detection system with it. It'll tell you when it starts raining because it's got a haptic rain gauge. So it's very fun to have one of these attached to your place of residence. Now, looking at Redding, California, what I'm showing you this graph here is for is just going to show the extended heat we're going to be dealing with. This red line is the average temperature for this time of year. You can see it is right around 100 degrees, and this goes all the way on into mid portion of July here. You can see some very warm temperatures over the next few days, and that remains with us, and some very warm overnight lows. Same thing for Sacramento. This lasts till probably some portion of mid-July coming up here. Fresno, California, no exception, with some highs getting up towards 115 as we go through Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Bakersfield, California, look at this. You're talking about 118 for Saturday and Sunday, and just some oppressive heat as we go on all the way in towards the following weekend coming up. And also, we've got these fires that are starting here. So this is this morning, the high resolution rapid refresh. It gives you where that smoke is and where it may be moving today. And you can see the fires flaring up here across Northern California. We're going to take a look at which fire that is here coming up in a moment. Looks like that one just started recently here. And you can see a fire there across Utah flaring up as well. But you can see, you know, that these fires are kicking off here as we go through the next couple of days. This is tomorrow evening, and you can see some of the smoke flaring up there. So on top of the heat there, we're going to be dealing with this smoke for some areas as well. And if we take a look here, I think that is the Shelley fire. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but it looks like this one is not yet burned that much acreage, but it is producing smoke out there. And you can check this out here. This is ca.gov. Go ahead and Google that if you want. It gives you all kinds of nice information on these individual fires across the state. Now, the 4th of July forecast for places like Phoenix, look at this, 115 118 here, and we're gonna remain very hot here for the next few days. Also, you can see by the time we get towards 6 p.m., you're talking about getting up 113, 115 here for Phoenix, the metro areas. And of course, the dangerous heat builds. Just kind of a nice graphic, just all encompassing here. Record heat, very hot. Some areas get towards 120 Thursday through Tuesday, coming up here with little or overnight relief, little to no overnight relief here with lows in the lower 80s to lower 90s. And the excessive rainfall outlook is pushed off across New Mexico here. The monsoon moisture taking a bit of a break for the time being across some of the southwest. And looking at the daily 2-meter max temperature, this is for today, again, Thursday, July 4th. Put it into motion here, and you can see tomorrow, look at these temperatures actually increase for some areas. Very warm. We're talking about Death Valley, maybe up towards 124, 125 as we go through the next couple of days. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We do cool off a tiny bit here, but you kind of even hesitate to call it any kind of a cool off. Still very warm temperatures, well over 100 degrees here as we go on into the upcoming week and potentially all the way in through the following weekend for many areas. Now, taking a look at the European Ensemble, I mean, this is last night, and this actually the Ensemble control, correction. But the fact remains here that this very slow moving ridge of high pressure is going to be dominating the weather here across much of the west coast of North America. This extends all the way up towards southeast Alaska here, and a strong ridge right over the top of the state of California will remain with us as we go on in towards next week. You can see it does relax a little bit here, but it still remains in place here across much of the southwest, and we'll continue to watch here to see if we can get any kind of relief here across the region as we go into the mid portion of July or maybe later July. This is an interesting view of things here. This is the northern hemisphere. This is the North Pole. There's Washington State. There's Hawaiian Islands. There's California and Arizona. If you look way over here, you can see like Japan. You can see Mongolia there. You can see Africa to the right. So this is kind of interesting because if I put it into motion, you can see the blues up here and the greens are the chillier air here, we should call it. But of course, it's nothing like what it's like in the winter because the direct rays of the sun are now in the northern hemisphere here, and we warm things up much more than we do in the winter months here, and that's why this is summer here. So if I put this into motion, you can see that these polar vortexes are much weaker than they are in the winter, and of course that leaves the mid-latitude cyclones well off to the north here, and it lets us warm up here across the southwest USA. And you can kind of see the ridge of high pressure here over the next few days just kind of dominating the weather here, keeping things very warm across the southwest portions of the USA. So interesting look at things here. I thought I'd show you guys that. I like to show the visual diagrams of what is going on above us here and across our planet. Taking a look at the European Ensemble control as far as 2-meter temperature anomaly. This is just a one-day running anomaly here. So as I scroll through this, we're going to look all the way out towards, I think, what is it, about July 9th or so. But you can see that we remain above average here, and it's a very dangerous heat out there as we go all the way in towards the July 9th time frame. Looking at what was issued yesterday, the excessive heat, the experimental product here, you've been watching the video, you know what's going on with this. I just like to show some of these products sometimes here. But again, expected to remain on in through the mid portion of July. Now, not to add insult to injury here, but this is the total precipitation here, 50th percentile on the European Ensemble European Ensemble as of yesterday afternoon. So I'm going to put this into motion, and you're going to get the picture here pretty quick as we go on into the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th. We're not talking about any precipitation here, any meaningful precipitation across California. Maybe the monsoon signal will start to return here. As you can see, it starts to bring some moisture across Arizona and New Mexico, but maybe a thunderstorm or two over the next couple weeks here for the Sierra Nevada, but not much. It's looking like right now. And you can see the Sierra Madre here down across Mexico. That's monsoon moisture as well. But yeah, not looking great here for the state of California over the next 2 weeks as far as precipitation is concerned. Pretty typical for this time of year, but it was just being accompanied by unusual heat this time. So if we take a look here at the tropical weather outlook, we do have this 80% chance of tropical cyclone development here, but this moisture is not expected to affect the southwest portion of the USA. We've also got Hurricane Beryl out there as well. It's going to move into the Yucatan Peninsula and redevelop as it goes on into the Gulf of Mexico here. And it's probably going to take aim at southern Texas or extreme northern portions of Mexico there as well. But that moisture is also not expected to drift off to the southwest USA. And you can see that tropical storm force wind speed probability here. It's going to really lose a huge amount of its energy here, or it's really going to get disrupted as it crosses the terrain here on the Yucatan Peninsula, but it's likely to reemerge and probably redevelop here across the Gulf of Mexico and re-strengthen before it makes landfall yet again. And if we take a look at that, you can see this is a precipitable water. So if I put this into motion, you'll see this is the development zone here for our Eastern Pacific tropical system, and there is Beryl. You can see it move across the Yucatan Peninsula. Its circulation is going to be disrupted across the higher terrain. Then it will redevelop here over the Gulf of Mexico, and then it will slam back into probably the Mexico coast, but it may take a turn north towards Texas as well. But you can kind of see we're not expecting this anytime soon to bring any kind of moisture to the southwest USA. Usually happens later in the year anyway. 6 to 10 day. This shouldn't be a surprise. You've been watching the video for the last few days. This is issued yesterday, July 3rd, and below average signal across Pacific Northwest does include some portions of California and Nevada here, and you see a little bit above average here for some of this monsoon moisture creeping northward. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, anyway, happy 4th of July there to everybody. And again, watch out for that smoke out there. Let's not start any more fires here. Look before you lock. Make sure you're not leaving your pets or your children in the car. It may sound silly here, but it seems to happen every single year to somebody out there. So let's keep our eyes out for that kind of stuff too. But anyway, hope you guys are enjoying these videos. Otherwise, it's free to click subscribe down there, so it really helps the channel out. So if you are watching these videos, click that subscribe button here, help the channel out so we can get the word out to everybody here across the southwest USA and the state of California. Otherwise, hope you guys are having a good day. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.